The Perrins family haunting at the Conjuring house. Was it fact or fiction? Let's go find out together. Well, hello, my friends. It's always a pleasure to sit down with you, share our thoughts and our theories on different events, or hauntings, or crime, or we get into it all here. Well, if you didn't know, I am Dee Sparta. Welcome to my channel. This is where we dive into the mysterious and unsolvable, then try to learn more through tarot and other divination tools. Now, if you are new here, I'd like to let you know that I always start out with a brief intro, then I go into a certain case we're discussing or topic, and give details from what I have researched, and then we go into the tarot reading. And you can skip ahead using chapter links. Now, also, if you're new here or you just haven't subscribed before, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you will know when my videos post. I post weekly videos, and sometimes I'll throw in a bit more, like a bonus video or two, but after getting COVID a few weeks ago, and I'm still recovering, folks. I'm still having a hard time talking and breathing, and it is bad stuff, man. I'm like, gotten vaccinated for everything, and then the variant, and that just, yeah. Anyway. Also, hit the thumbs up if you like this video, like this kind of content. Comment down below your thoughts and ideas on today's topic, as well as post your suggestions for future videos. Oh, yes, as I mentioned at the very beginning, we're talking about what actually happened at the Conjuring house. There is a movie called The Conjuring, and it's about a house that was haunted, and it was the Perrins family who living there and what happened to them. And I'm going to say this here, folks. Lorraine Warren and her husband, Ed, they are part of what happened and helped the family. The family says yes, it was helpful what they did. Now, I am not here today. We're not going into, are Ed and Lorraine a fraud? Were they scamming people? Or were they just doing this for money and fame? I'm not even touching that. Because there's a lot of people who admire and respect the Warrens, and other people who do not trust the Warrens. And, sometimes maybe there's just something in the middle there, what's really going on. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say, okay? Now, also, if you haven't watched the video about myself that I have, when you go to my page, I was very involved with a Pentecostal Spirit-filled church and going to college, studying theology, demonology, angelology, theology, you name it, psychology also, dealing with the temperament types, and so you understand people. And when it comes, and I being spirit-filled, with the church being spirit-filled that I was in, they believed that people could have demons attach themselves to you, kind of like cords that just, and try to oppress you and bring you down and break you. Not necessarily possess you, unless you're like, hey, come on, possess me. But some of the breaking down maybe could be because that's exactly what the demon wants you to take over. But I don't fully always believe in a full-on demon possession. Now, with the Protestant churches, they call an exorcism a deliverance. They're delivering you free, setting you free, breaking the ties and the bonds that are cords that are keeping you trapped. And I did perform many of these deliverances. Yeah. So I am really critical because it's like, sometimes you can just see that's fake. I would spot a fake, phony. It's just like, come on now. I was dealing with youth a lot and adults and young adults, and I could tell when someone was just, exaggerating. It became, being an empath as myself, it was really like, you can't fool me. You can't fool me. Well, maybe someone, I could get fooled. I don't want to challenge that. Don't try and fool. Just not go there. Anyway, so I do have, kind of a history, an understanding about what the Warrens were doing. And I really don't know what to think. I mean, I've done plenty of several other cases. Amityville House. My mind just went, Puh. Annabelle the doll. There I have. And I haven't seen anything downright false. I've seen more of an exaggeration of details, and possibly in order to get, because in the Catholic Church, to get an exorcism, you have to go through a lot of blue tape, a lot of things to try and prove that this is an actual thing you're dealing with, and then the Vatican approve and send someone who is trained, to handle it. And you got to be trained. You have to know, because messing with demons is no joke, folks. No joke. I have witnessed too much in my life, and the spooky stuff that happened in my own home growing up, So, I think sometimes they might embellish things to speed up the process so that people aren't waiting to get help. I don't know, maybe. That's just kind of a feeling I get. But they didn't want to discredit what was happening, so they were trying to stick as much as they could to the facts. But even the people who were involved, the families and the person who were getting prayer for, they were seeking the help from the Warrens, they also could have been exaggerating things in order to get the Warrens to help them. I mean, there's just, you get what I'm saying, folks? Okay. Well, my research of the real Conjuring house with the Perron family, it led me down a fantastical rabbit hole. The lines between fact and fiction blurred. When there are two very opposing sides to a story, the truth usually lies somewhere in between. Now, as I said, I originally had wanted to go into a lot more information about Ed and Lorraine Warren, but this video would have ended up extremely long. And so I'm thinking maybe possibly of doing a reading on this infamous couple of demon hunters. If this is something you want to see, let me know. This is where you comment. So today we're just going to focus on the Perron family, the house they lived in, and the history, and Now, the family consists of the parents, Roger and Carolyn Perron, and they had 5 daughters, April, Cynthia, Christine, Nancy, and Andrea. Now, Andrea, she wrote a book about her life in this haunted house, and it's a series of 3 books, The House of Darkness, House of Life. Light, not life. I am so tongue-tied. Now, the family had been living in this house for 10 years when they finally reached out for help for the Warrens. And Ed Warren referred to himself, as a demonologist, while Lorraine, his wife, she referred to herself as a clairvoyant medium. And they were a paranormal team who would go out and help them. So here we are doing, they had so many cases. There's so many movies of hauntings that the Warrens were part of. And had, hands. They were very hands-on and wanting to try and help people. And as I mentioned before, I noticed some things might get exaggerated, and I explained some of that why. And I'm going to do my best in this reading, because even when I do just a personal reading for someone, I don't sugarcoat things. What I'm shown, what I see, life isn't all love and light, and we need to learn how to navigate the hard times. And so if I see something that's not pleasant, I'm going to be vocal about it. But I am not going to be harsh, mean, or cruel, but I will want you to understand there's probably an urgency. Now, with that said, please understand, once again, I'm not trying to discredit anyone. I just want to figure out if there was more going on, or if things were exaggerated, or something else could have been happening. I'm saying the words exaggerated instead of lying, because I want to differentiate intention. Like, from lying, I see it more as wanting to take advantage of others to hurt or harm in this scenario that we're talking about. While exaggeration in this context of this video that I'm talking it's not done to deceive with the intent to hurt or harm. Instead, it is done often out of excitement to enhance an experience when trying to explain a situation. And I really want to kind of differentiate that. That's why I'm not saying lying, because I really don't think there was an intent to ever harm anyone. Okay? Also, I think, like, I just keep feeling this really strongly. Things were exaggerated to actually get approval from the Vatican. That just seems the most likely, because the people needed help. So, all right, now we got my little intro in here, folks. If you want to learn more about the Perrons in the case, the situation, and the history of this house, please feel free to do so. Stay with me. But if you just want to jump ahead to the tarot reading, I got your chapter links down below. I can hook you up. And yeah, let's get to this. Hi, thank you for sticking around. It's always really a good time. I love when you guys are into this area, listening in, and you start posting your comments. And if I'm available, I will try chiming in and kind of discuss it back and forth with you guys. I do try and be active. So let's get into the Perrons. In January 1971, they moved into a large farmhouse. The top picture, oh my picture didn't show up. You can't see me now. Okay, anyway, I don't know what happened to the video feed, but you see the top picture. That is the house as it was when the Perron family is living in. The bottom picture is of the current state. I know the house went on sale in September of 2021. I don't know if it's been bought. The family that was living there, we're going to get into that. They were not happy. They've been very unhappy with the Paranormal family, the Warrens, the movie, the Conjuring, and all the fans. And whoa, it gets nasty. Anyway. Now, when they moved into this, they claim to have noticed strange things happening around the house immediately. Now, this is older property, so strange things could be happening. It could just be little critters running around, or faulty plumbing, electricity, creaking of the old house, or it could definitely be some kind of spirits. Or kind of echoes of spirits, of echoes of things that have happened. Now, Carolyn allegedly researched the history of the home and discovered that it had been in the same family for 8 generations. And her research showed that many of them had died under mysterious and horrible circumstances. Several of the children had drowned in a nearby creek, one was murdered, and a few of them had hung themselves in the attic. Okay, now we're going to get into this. Now, in 2007, the people who were currently living in the home became angry with the movie. Um, because they were not given a heads up that this movie was even going to be made, that there was going to be attention to their home, because this was good. Something like this would definitely interfere with their lives, and it did. Because the movie brought around a lot of unwanted attention to the home, and people were trespassing and trying to verify if the house is haunted or not, and it made the those owners really life hard. Now, there is about an hour-long video where they, I'll put the link down below on YouTube, that the owners at that time, they did a lot of research, and they had gotten a lot of research when they bought the house. Things that had been passed down about the history of the family that lived there before, the 8 generations. And a lot of the stuff she was saying that the other owners were saying was debunking what Carolyn was saying was in her research. They were like, there were no children drowning. There were no mysterious deaths. Nobody hung themselves up in the attic. That is what one person's saying, and you got someone else who's doing it, and you got this, like, two different sides of what really happened. Now we're going to get into the spirit that was depicted in the film, Bathsheba. And whoa, everyone, there is just, I gotta tell you, the polarizing information is just, so I'm just gonna calm myself here. Because there actually was a woman named Bathsheba, and now in the movie, she was a witch accused of killing a child with a knitting needle into the back of the head, and cursing everything on the land. Now, other sources say that Bathsheba was a Satanist and doing rituals and worshiping the devil, and that was upsetting people around. Now, we know during that time, such huge misunderstanding of pagans and witches, and, there's no killing of children. No, we don't. No. Hecate, she is, the goddess of witchcraft, and she comes in form as like the maiden, the mother, the crone. The whole motherhood and having a child is very, very special. So it's a little weird. Sorry, I still... Now, the records that other people found about Bathsheba, that she lived there all right, but she was a registered Baptist, and she died when she was 79 and given a proper burial in the church's cemetery. So, some people are like, well, if the church, Baptist church, was recognizing her still, maybe there's some lies about her being a witch, lies about any child that was killed, because they couldn't, there hasn't been like this documentation that anyone's actually found. Now, oh, I'd like to show you a picture of the Perron family. You can see, once again, I'm sorry, faulty difficulties with the camera, but, there's a picture with, the husband and wife, and then you have the 5 children, and they look like a pretty adorable family. But they claimed that they were seeing shadow figures and hearing voices, and were physically assaulted by a spirit in the house. Now, the owners, when the movie came out, they say that science can explain much of what has happened, what they hear or see. Now, there was only like one instance with this flashing blue light that raced across the room that they couldn't figure out what it was or where it came from. But most everything else, they're saying science has a very logical explanation. Now, Carolyn, inside the story, is supposedly becomes possessed by the Sheba, and to try and kill her kids. Now, the Warrens, let me show you a little picture of them Here we go. The Warrens, A, show up to save the day. Well, they really wanted to help this family and let the family be able to live demon free, haunted free. So that's kind of sums up things. Now, I feel that there could have been paranormal activity that scared the Perrons. A lot of people lived in that house. A lot of people come and go. Some people probably want to stick around. Some didn't want to, but they feel like they can't leave. There's many different explanations. Do I think that things were exaggerated by using what history they knew to try and make sense of things happening? It's like, oh, well, I can say that this person existed. Maybe there was an urban legend about a woman, killing children, and that we could explain what's haunting here. And, they just pick somebody who's lived there. I mean, I don't know, but now, do I think that Bathsheba was a Satanist killing babies? Sorry. Killing babies? No. I could be wrong, but I don't think that actually happened. Now, could she have been a witch and misunderstood and feared? That possibly. Yet, that doesn't mean she was haunting the house. Something else could have been there, something else that the family could have brought in themselves. And it's like, well, they lived 10 years. I'm kind of like, why 10 years before? And you're trying to say things started and they just started escalating more and more. What were you doing to cause the escalations? Because if you're messing around with things that you do not know how to use, well, yeah, things could escalate. So I wonder, there are pieces to the story that are missing. And so the puzzle's not clicking. You can't see the full picture. Yeah, and I want to get down to see that whole picture. What about you? So, let's get into the tarot reading, okay? Hi, welcome back. Thank you for joining me for this tarot reading. If any of you wondering, I have a headset on because I do listen to music to help my mind focus. And yeah, sometimes the song will even, pop up and, because I'm on a shuffle here, and it will connect with what the Spirit's showing me and what the cards are trying to say. So, keep in mind also that these readings are all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Let's just get into this. Let's have some fun. And I was trying to figure out what deck I was going to use, and last minute I did decide I'm going to, we're doing about a haunted house, so yeah, I'll use the haunted house deck. Okay. The Three of Wands. Ooh. I was surprised that this just popped up so fast. Justice. My thought, I started I went to start to get into the Perron family, and then I jumped right into Bathsheba. So I'm really thinking she's wanting justice. The Three of Wands, that... Yeah, she's hoping that there's going to be some kind of justice. I feel that she's being tormented. The things that are being said about her. Here's the Three of Cups. she wants people to know the truth of the situation, and I think there could have been rumors even back when she was alive. A friend, someone knows the truth, not speaking up. This card is death. And that's going under this. She was looking. Wanting answers, but not getting them. Here is the Page of Cups reversed. Oh my. There's a lot, people are upset because there was someone who had been died, and they were trying to blame Bathsheba, but she was innocent, and people were really disappointed, very sad. They wanted to know the truth. But the truth was there. It was there. It was just a sad story they didn't want to believe. And then pull up the Nine of Cups reversed. That stands out. Especially over this collaboration. Somebody was trying to frame her. And when you're dealing with the Nine of Cups reversed, this is being very unhappy, very upset with something not happening the way it should have been. It's like I thought I had everything and I don't. It's not working. It's not connecting. Uncle is who I'm hearing. An uncle. Maybe they called him an uncle out of respect. Six of Pentacles. And it's reversed. We're dealing... Okay, so... It's almost like Bathsheba owed somebody something. Her uncle something, and he was holding it over her. Like she knew the truth. The King of Pentacles. Yeah, him. There's a jealousy, a petty jealousy in some of this family. Okay, so it's like, oh, but she's been having all this good luck, and the family's got all this wealth, and look at their beautiful, home, and, what's she doing? What's she doing? Yeah, it's like, Seven of Cups. Look at the person. sitting here thinking, this here, the person who was spreading the rumors, they were someone of affluent. They're very affluent. People thought he was extremely rich. The family was very wealthy, but no, they were in debt. This is like starting to, the cards are coming together here. They were in debt and felt, hey, we're family, you should be helping us out. And there was like, no. And so there was just a lot of truth not coming out, and person's name being drawn in the cover, right? Yeah, here's the two of wands reversed. You see, it's a Ouija board. Oh, there. Let me get that in the camera. It's a Ouija board. There's just a lot of fear. Yeah, the uncle, there was just some bad planning. He invested something wrong, did it wrong, ended up in debt. The murmurings between people. Ooh. And I pull up that card, the Two of Cups. Yeah. And it's reversed, which means they don't trust. Trust is broken. There's arguing. It's falling apart. Wow. A breakup. Huh. Someone died, and it wasn't an accident. Instead of breaking up and divorcing, it was like, and I did that for you, now you have to scratch my back and give me money. And as soon as I said give me money, whoa, do you see what card this is, folks? This is the Eight of Pentacles, and this is all, it's like, they wanted to have this, it's like, we'll cover everything up, pass the money to me, it's like, and something went wrong in the deal, and it wasn't going to happen. Someone backed out. Yeah, that's so, I don't think, I think, yeah, the sword, Ace of Swords reversed. We're dealing more along the lines of just getting bad ideas going forward, throwing accusations at each other because they're angry. One person's not fulfilling their part of a deal. Yeah. The Page of Swords reversed. It's up, all talk, no action. You said you do this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. And this Queen of Queen, they, this usually means that there's been a conflict in the home, money-wise, usually. And it could be in the home and work. So I think it was a family situation there. Do I think that Bathsheba could be haunting or was around the house? She still could be. Maybe some of the others. Or a spirit could be imitating her. Let's see about the Paranormal family. I'm going to pull out another deck. Where's that deck I wanted to use? Here it is. Okay. Let's see if I can get into the parents and the Warrens. Okay, I'm just seeing misfortune feeling trapped. And what do I pull up? Seven of Swords reversed. Ooh. Oh. Three of Pentacles. This isn't going in a good direction, folks. Deceiving themselves into what's happening. I think someone was really in. I think I've seen Carolyn really was into digging into the history and reading more into things. The Three of Pentacles here. When we look at the it's usually, you know, you're working with a team, learning together. So they worked with someone else to, it's like they had talked themselves into believing that this actually was happening, and they worked, and someone else actually and I'm seeing it's the Warrens kind of fell into it. I think they were fooled. Ooh. Here is the Hangman reverse. Yeah, I don't like calling someone out like this, but they had talked a lot. It's like they kind of spooked out the kids talking about ghosts and spirits. Warrens had already kind of, people knew who they were, and that's why the family, they reached out to him. And because it was a family with 5 kids, Ed and Lorraine were like, we gotta help. Sometimes you have to help by doing a placebo, and that's what I'm seeing going on here. It was a placebo. Because you could talk things into reality. Here is the Two of Swords. It's just the two contrasting realities of what's going on. It's going forward. They were going through very, very rough spot in their timeline, and feeling trapped. I'm sensing, let's see here. Yeah, the Queen of Swords reversed, and I'm just seeing Carolyn. She is easily influenced. She's very emotional. Carolyn, I'm just getting this part of her. If she hears or reads about something that could be of the supernatural or a conspiracy theory, she would easily fall into believing it without really getting to the bottom of something. She was easily played with, and I think some people were messing with her by, exaggerating stories about what happened in this house. Because, you have a family living there so long, you're like, well, wow, what happened? Okay, here's the Hermit. And that's above the reversed Hangman. Interesting. I don't see. I really think the Warrens were sincere in wanting to help, and they wanted to believe the family. I think the children were scared. Carolyn's uneasiness and her susceptibility to think things were happening that weren't, it was like to exaggerate the things. Yeah, and I think that, boy, yeah. And they wanted to help this family, especially with the kids. They were really concerned. Yeah, well, here we've got the Five of Swords, and this is always conflict of some kind. Fives, there's a very conflict, disagreements. I do think the Warrens were conflicted because they were seeing things that, yeah, there's haunting here. Yeah, there could be some spirits. Maybe there is, but, is this what's really happening or not? I'm sorry, I touched the mic, my fingernail. Oh. The King of Wands. Oh, boy. Let's see what cards it's over. Yeah, well, you know what? Our little kingly guy. I just see this as Carolyn's husband. He very believable person, and he wanted to believe his wife, and he just, it's like almost a forcefulness, a charismaticness that you just kind of like, oh wow, this is real, and you like the guy, and you want to believe everything he's saying, and he wants to believe what he's being told. When the people he loves, he's not going to be like, oh. I think sometimes if you believe something is there and happened, and even if it's not, you project stuff, and that projection can come back almost in a reality. So it could have opened the doors to a nasty spirit entering in. The King of Coins. Okay. Ooh, this is a greedy motherfucker. Someone who's very stubborn. It's Ed. Very stubborn. He has struggles with finances. He gets it, but he struggles holding on to things sometimes. But once he starts believing something, he's very stubborn. If he says he's going to help someone, and he wanted to help those kids, he wanted to make sure that they were in a good, safe home, he was going to make sure that anything that could have been in that home was gone and cleaned out, and that the family was safe again. Because if they kept going down the route that they were escalating things, inviting things to happen and come in, and it's like, okay, we got to clear it out. And he was stubborn. We're dealing with someone, so that's why I see Lorraine wanting to help, Ed's help. His stubbornness is to, instead of telling them, hey, you guys aren't seeing, none of this is real, it's, okay, they believe it's real, we got to fix it and free them from this. I really think they were sincere. I don't see them trying to make money off of this family. I don't see that at all. It's more of, we got to help out. Now here's the Emperor reversed, and we're coming back over to this side where we have all this clouded information and being self-deceiving. The Emperor reversed. This is we're dealing with the spirit that was let in. is what I'm seeing. It this chaoticness that was causing the confusion, uh, and building up this need to control everything around. I see Carolyn wanting to try and control everything and fix it all, and just, but in such denial of what really is happening. Okay, and Nine of Pentacles reversed. Now remember when I said I didn't see money? Yeah, I didn't see that they were gaining money. I see a lot of loss. But with this reversed, they were financially independent. So, they didn't, having 5 kids, yeah, there were some tough times. They had to scrimp. But I don't think they were the type, wanted to be overindulgent. I don't see that. And here's the 5 of Cups. This is a lot of regret. I think that, the Warrens did regret not being upfront. But they wanted to move everyone forward to finding peace again. Accept what's happened. It's time to heal and move forward. So that's what I'm seeing here. This is interesting. I just like this. We can't let this family be humiliated and judged coming from the Warrens. We need to protect them and help them get through this struggle, because they're making it worse by the intensifying all that fear. It's really yeah, there was no evil witch killing kids. That do think that poor woman had a rough life. Okay, we'll just put that out there. I'm not going to use my Letterman deck. I think I've done enough. I think I'm feeling like there's not much more I'm going to pick up today. I'm kind of like, yeah, this is it. So, if you like this video, please thumbs up. Comment down below with your thoughts on this, with the Perron family and the Conjuring house and the Warrens. Your feelings, your opinions, Don't fight amongst each other. Which I've noticed you guys are really great about this. You guys don't really fight. You guys are usually encouraging the other and backing each other's up and ideas and discuss things without conflict. And I really appreciate it. You guys are great. I really, really love that there's a lot more harmony, because this is such people have strong feelings and opinions about a lot of stuff I'm discussing here. And the fact that people can talk and disagree and agree with respect. This is all I've ever wanted from you. Thank you. It means a lot to me. I would like to know what you'd like to see next. I will be putting up some more polls with ideas of readings. Check that community tab and vote. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe. I'm so close to 2,000. I want to break the 2K. I do. And I hope I get better. And if you're not feeling well, I hope you get better too. I'm trying to think of anything else. The song that just came on is Mad World. Okay, and on that lovely note, folks, please remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Know that I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.